everybody, Pam with Normalized Cloth again, and today is day 4 of the Flats and Handwashing Challenge. And you probably can't tell from the video, but it's been like sprinkling and misting and raining, and it's looking like that's what my next 2 days are gonna look like. I don't have anything on my line because at some point during the middle of the day yesterday I realized I should probably wash diapers. I'm very much glad I did. So I don't have anything to wash right now, but when it gets about that time that I need to, with the humidity, I mean, I have my rack underneath the roof, but with the humidity I really doubt they'll get fully dry, so I'll probably just mostly dry them when there and then whip out old reliable my iron. That thing's probably older than I am. You know, add that to the list of stuff I got for free because people like to give me things and I'm okay with that. And this is one of those shirts I just hacked up because I'm hot. Anyways, today's topic is wash routine. So I took a video of what I do. I'll walk you through step by step what my wash routine looks like, but to be honest, if you've seen previous year's videos, it's basically the same routine. So here's what my here's what my wash routine looks like. So because this was my very first wash for this challenge, I had to start by adding my own sort of pre-wash water. Usually I can recycle the final rinse water for my pre-wash. I don't always do that either, but if I can, I do, and that saves me like 2 to 3 gallons of water. I'm not particular to the temperature. Obviously, if I've saved the water's usually cold. If I'm putting the water in, I usually just shove it on. It's like warm, cool, whatever. I probably fill it up to about in this case with 7 diapers and a couple covers, it's probably filled up by with maybe 2 gallons of water. And then I just plunge it around for maybe 50 plunges-ish, just trying to get a lot of that nastiness out of them. It doesn't take too long to do that. And then at this point, I just give those diapers a quick squeeze to get the bulk of that nasty water out of them. So at this point, I take the bucket over to my toilet and I actually dump it straight down my toilet, all that nasty water. And I do that for a couple reasons. One, because it drains a lot faster doing it that way than it does to just let it go down my drain in my tub. My tub drain is so insanely slow. But also because if there's any, for lack of better words, chunks or any nastiness in there, then I want to make sure that that goes down the drain, that it doesn't get stuck on my drain trap or something. That's just nasty. So you may have seen I put probably I don't know, a teaspoon of detergent in there, and that's for the 7 diapers and 2 covers. Oh, and a wipe. This was my first day, so I only had that many. I normally wash about a dozen at a time, give or take 10 to 12. When I do more diapers, I'm probably using a max of a teaspoon and a half, so I never use usually more than half a tablespoon. I think there's only 3 gallons of water in there maybe, and I plunge it. This is hot water too. I plunge it for probably about 100 times if I had to put a number to it. One good indicator that you've used enough detergent is that you're still going to have suds left in your bucket when you're done. Suds is an indication of cleaning power. So if you still have suds left in your bucket when you're done washing, that means that you still have a little bit of cleaning power. You don't want so many suds that it's bubbling everywhere because you've used way too much detergent if that's the case. So you want some suds because that means that you didn't use up all the detergent and still potentially have nast in the bucket and in your diapers. I am wringing out these diapers, the more detergent water you get out of them when you pull them out, then the better they're going to rinse and the less times you have to fill the bucket to rinse it. So, you know, there's a reason that washers run spin cycles after they wash. Yeah, I used about 2.5 gallons for that wash. And then same thing, I just take it over to my toilet and dump it in. Drains a lot faster that way. I rinse some of those suds out. You'll notice I've got my toilet plunger propping my bucket up. Ever since I got my bathroom redone, my spout doesn't stick out far enough for it to reach without me tipping the bucket. So the more water, again, that you get out of the detergent water, that is, the less rinsing you have to do. That's one of the tricks to reduce the amount of rinsing you have to do. To me, it's better to have to squeeze the diapers out and rinse only once or twice, well, usually twice, versus having to fill the bucket over and over and over again. It's such a waste of water to do that anyways, when you can just squeeze most of that stuff out to get it out in the first place. And you'll see I've got this filled up with the diapers in it up to the 4-gallon mark. I use a lot of water for my first rinse, and it's usually cold water. The main reason being that I want the first rinse to get as much out as possible, so I usually kind of fill it more for the first rinse than I do the second rinse. And I plunge it around. I usually only plunge it, like, again, 20 to 50 times for the rinse. And then I take a look at the water and I assess the water. You give it a moment to just sit, and you're looking for suds. If you see like that's too many suds. It's not bad, but you don't want to stop there because you can end up with buildup over time, and I know that from experience. So same thing, I give them a quick wring. I'm probably not as vigorous with wringing that time as I am as after I wash them, but I do want to get a lot of that water out because for the same reason, it makes rinsing go faster. So same story, dump it in the toilet. And this time I'm going to throw them back in and rinse it again with definitely less water this time. And I'm pretty confident, based on the amount of suds that I saw the last time, that this is going to definitely be the final rinse. It's not likely I would need to do another rinse, which in this case proved to be true. And I rinse with cold water, usually cold or warm, not like particular to temperature. The only time I'm really particular about temperature is I try to make sure that my main wash is done with hot water, just because, you know, hot water molecules are moving faster. It just gets a better, quicker clean. So I'm going to plunge it around. I think this is only like 2 gallons of water. It's not even a whole lot. You'll see it's a pretty soupy mixture, which that's what you want when you're washing your diapers with the main wash. You want your diapers to be sort of soupy. You don't want them to be floating in too much water, or you won't get good agitation. So you'll see there was virtually no suds, maybe a couple little bubbles, but that was it. So they're good. So all that's left at this point is to wring out the diapers. I fold the flats sort of like in half and half and half, and then I just twist them to do the majority of the wringing. I mean, obviously covers I can't wring, but I can squish those as much as possible. Wrapping those up in a towel though afterwards definitely helps reduce dry time. I usually lay them out on a towel and wrap them up. I'm not too worried about it because I find that snapping them helps a lot. I don't think I did that this time though when I dried them. But I have my drying rack on my deck. It's underneath the roof, so if it were to ever rain, the humidity might get to the diapers, but the rain shouldn't. Unless it's like a seriously like brutal sideways rain or something. So yeah, here I don't really snap out the diapers a whole lot. Like I think I might have done maybe one, but I don't really snap them out. I do now, especially because I want them to dry faster. Another thing too is that if you're trying to save on clothespins, or if you don't care about dry time, like in this case it was nighttime so I didn't entirely care. I drape them in half because they hold a better shape that way, I think. But if you need them to dry quicker, it definitely benefits you to hang them by the ends rather than drape them in half. It's even on a drying rack like this, they will dry substantially faster, probably like a good hour or two faster, possibly more depending on your weather. But for the most part, that's it. Just drape them on there and let them go for overnight. The unofficial final step is I definitely moisturize my hands. I don't use gloves because I find that the gloves just leak water right into them anyways. So I definitely moisturize my hands, otherwise my hands will crack and bleed because detergent is really hard on your hands. And if you have sensitive hands and you don't have very good moisturizer that you know is going to help, or you're worried about cracking hands, definitely try to use soap, like bar soap, instead of detergent. So that's basically it. The process usually takes me anywhere between 15 and 20 minutes, depending on how many diapers I'm washing. That was a smaller load. There's A1 movers, and there's a birdie. Oh, hello neighbors. Oh, they must be doing a big job. They got both trucks. Thank you all for watching, and have a blessed day.